everybody, and welcome back to the Fairy Tale family, where our goal is to put a little bit of magic into your everyday. I'm Chelsea, and today's magic is Christmas magic, my favorite kind of magic. We are going to share with you today our official review of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party in Magic Kingdom in Disney World, because we had the privilege of going on November 22nd, which was a Friday night, to this party for the very first time. I'm in my little Christmas sweater. Hello, that's not a great angle, but you get the gist, with my Christmas ears and my festive lips to share with you everything that we thought about this particular event. So, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is a separate ticketed event in the Magic Kingdom. This means that Magic Kingdom gets closed to regular guests, and it is for ticket holders, people who have purchased tickets only. You get, I brought mine home, you get a little band. There are these little stops in Magic Kingdom where you can pick up your band, so that if you are there in the parks during the day and the park transitions over to the party in the evening, you don't have to leave the park and re-enter. You can just pick your band up while you're there. So we also learned that Disney Vacation Club members can get into the park early at 2 p.m., which wasn't something that we were hearing a lot about before we left to go to Disney World. So if you are DVC, you can get in at 2. Otherwise, the gates open at 4 and the party starts at 7. You will also find these candy cane covered wrapped areas where you can pick up your band and then later your treats, which we'll get into. So Mark and I spent the morning exploring all of the Christmassy wonder in Animal Kingdom, which is new this year, and then went back to the room for a quick rest because we knew that we were going to be out very, very late, and to get changed because I wanted to wear this sweater, which you'll see in some photos here in the video. I wanted to wear the sweater because it was actually a little chilly for Florida. So I wore this with a midi skirt and sneakers and these little buttes and felt very comfortable during the party. So please do check the weather. I'll put our packing planning tips in here as well, because that's one of my biggest tips. Is Florida, even though you think it's going to be temperate, has fairly intense extremes. So be ready. So we entered the park at 2, knowing that we had basically 5 hours before the party started. And the reason for this is because it was our Magic Kingdom time before the actual party began. And there were some attractions that we really wanted to do. Now, keep in mind, we did not bring our daughter. She's 4. We knew we were going to be staying out late, doing very long park days, and there were just certain things that would make it really difficult to get the full experience in a weekend had we brought her. So we'll talk about children and what they will love about this party later, but you should know that this is kind of an adults only trip for us, but we were looking at it from the lens of parents as well. So we got to ride like the Haunted Mansion. There were things that I didn't like the Haunted Mansion that I didn't want to do during the party. The other piece of advice that I will give you now is that fast passes stop at 7 p.m. when the party starts. So the wait times are actually very short for the attractions that Mark and I rode, and we specified the attractions that we wanted to ride were the ones with Christmas overlays. So keep that in mind. I believe besides the Haunted Mansion, we didn't do a single attraction that didn't have a Christmas theme. So once we got into the park, obviously I wanted to see Main Street. I was surprised that Main Street did not have holiday music playing when we walked in. They have the most gorgeous decorations leading up to the castle. It is very festive, but they did not have like Christmas going on. Like, they really do save Christmas for the party. And I think that's one of the reasons why the party feels so special. So we did make a beeline straight over to the Jingle Cruise, which year round, aside from the festive season, is the Jungle Cruise. We hadn't been on the Jungle Cruise in years, and we had never been on the Jingle Cruise. But that's one of the attractions that has the longest wait time, so we wanted to get there first. So we did have a fast pass because it was before 7 p.m. So we hopped in line. It was about, if I'm recalling this correctly, 30 to 40 minutes in the queue, but they decorate the queue with festive Christmassy garlands to align with the attraction. So I actually really liked being in the queue. They lay an I over the U, so it says Jingle Cruise. They have a new banner, they have Santa. All of the cast members have new scripts when you're on the boat. And you know the jokes, right? The Jungle Cruise jokes are cheesy. We have the book, we read it to Callie all the time, and actually when we go to Disneyland this summer, we can't wait to take her on the Jungle Cruise because she knows the book so well. But the Jingle Cruise jokes were fantastic. So I'm a sucker for a good, cheesy, bad, ha-ha joke. It was just like minutes upon minutes. Our skipper, our captain, was awesome. She did such a great job delivering them in a dry way. Big fan. Now, if you have children, this isn't a ride that I would wait in line an hour or more for. However, as an adult, I think the queue is really entertaining. I think the attraction itself is a classic and I will wait for it. But with children, this is definitely a fast pass before the party starts, and during the party, the lines did move a little more quickly because they only sell a certain amount of tickets. So this is a definite must-do for the party / for Christmas. If you have the opportunity to do the Jingle Cruise, definitely do it. Mark and I also took some pictures of my wrist because I had my band on, and then I also had my DIY bow on my magic band. We'll put some of those pictures in, and I just think it's the jolliest wrist that ever was. In our 5 hours before the party started, Mark and I really kind of raced around the whole of Magic Kingdom to take photos of our ultimate guide to Disney World. I wanted photos in specific places, and we knew that the sun was going to go down somewhere in the early 5 o'clock hour. So from basically like 2 to 5, we did the Haunted Mansion, we did the Jingle Cruise, and then we explored relatively slowly and we took some photos. We also ate some snacks because we did not have a dining reservation for this day, knowing that we were gonna fill up with treats later. So we wanted to like eat early, treats later. So let's get into the party. So it's 7 o'clock now. We have entered into the party in one of the back ways. If you're coming in the main entrance and the Chapeau store is directly in front of you, if you take a right, there's like a parade exit. I've actually run down there when I did the Disney Half Marathon a decade ago. So actually a little longer than that. Oof. So we entered in that way and it's dark. That's where I bought my sparkly necklace. Ooh, I'll go get it. Okay. So these pups, if you've seen our little shopping guide, I bought these on the entrance on the way in. They were $15 and worth every penny. We also were able to pick up our first treat. That was our first treat stop. And we kind of entered into Main Street, blending in with the hundreds of other people we were walking in with. And Christmas music was playing. It was so festive. And all the lights on Main Street are lit up with their wreaths and garlands. And it is a Christmas snow globe miracle dream. I honestly was so overwhelmed with how perfect it was for someone who has dreamt of like the perfect Christmas my whole life. This was it. This was it. And I know for some people they're like, oh, that's so sad. What do you have to look forward to? No, I have the memory of it. And I know we'll go back because the party was totally worth it. Spoiler. It was totally worth it for the ticket price. And we'll definitely be bringing Callie in the future. But just walking into the atmosphere, magical. And then Disney has so much going on during this party that is exclusive to the party itself. So let me walk you through the schedule of events. Okay, so let's talk about the castle stage. So the castle is lit up in kind of its traditional lighting, and there are several events that take place on the stage. And here is where it's going to feel like there are millions of people in the park, because everyone's in the park for this reason, right? They're here for the party, so they want to see everything happening on the stage in front of the castle. So tip is that you might need to do a little waiting around in the castle area if you want a fantastic view. So here's what we did. There's the Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration, which takes place on the castle stage. So this is where Mickey and his friends invite you to their holiday party with a stage show right at the castle. And there are 4 times an evening for this production. We saw the 7:40 show. So that's the earliest one. And then the latest one happens at 11:55 p.m. So they range in between. The show itself is about 20-ish minutes. So this was okay, I'm not going to say I didn't like it. Of course I love it. It's Mickey and they're singing holiday songs. And they actually sang one of my very favorite songs from Mickey's Christmas Carol. Yep, that's right. With the Ghost of Christmas Present. It's in the stringing of a street corner choir. That's like a deep track, and I feel like I'm the only one on earth who knows that song. Please let me know in the comments below if you know this song with the Holly Jolly, like, know me better man. Him? So they sang a song that Mark was like, nobody knows this song but you. And then Clarabelle Cow did like a Mariah Carey situation that was so spot on and excellent. But this was out of the things that happened in the evening, this was my least favorite. I loved it, but it wasn't like, this is what you need to go and see. It's just a really fun stage show that I think kids would really like. But it is like, there's that waiting period. You know, Mark and I's view kept getting impeded because like kids were on shoulders or people were shifting. So we should have gone earlier than we did, but we were coming, you know, from other attractions, and we were coming from exploring what was going on in Tomorrowland, which is kind of a hub of holiday activity. So would recommend Mickey's Most Merriest Celebration, but if you're going to pick and choose what to do and you miss this, it's okay. It's okay. What I would recommend you definitely make time for is the Frozen Holiday Wish, where Elsa, I'm trying really hard not to give out spoilers from Frozen 2 right now, where Elsa lights up the castle with her wintry, magical fingers, and it is breathtaking. Breathtaking. It is stunning visually. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Fireworks, the lights, it like changes everything in Magic Kingdom to feel like an icy winter wonderland. There's snow, or as Tim Tracker calls it, Snope, that comes out. He hates it. I loved it. This took place at 8:15 only, so this is like a one-time deal. But essentially, she makes the castle sparkle with icy crystals. That is a must-do. Callie will love this. I know that Frozen is the thing right now in Disney. And I hope that in several years when we get to go back to this, that it's still a thing. Because this was such a good way to bring in some Disney princesses with the show. Oh, and the castle was just gorgeous. So the other 2 events that take place castle side, we did later in the evening. So we saw Elsa, and then we kind of booked it into Tomorrowland. And then we came back to the castle later in the evening. We saw Minnie's, which was new this year, Minnie's wonderful Christmas time fireworks show where there's like projections on the castle and you hear Minnie's voice and the fireworks span wider than they normally do. We saw the 10 p.m. show for this. Also a must-see. Was incredible. The song selection they chose, the castle felt very Minnie. The projection shows just keep getting better. This was definitely a must-do. And then after that, we hunkered down on Main Street for Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade. This was my favorite part. Now, we were so tired because this took place at 11 o'clock p.m. Now, keep in mind, we've been in this park since 2, and we had been in Animal Kingdom since 9, maybe early at 9. We were pooped at 11. And so, I needed to see the show the parade from Main Street. It's the only place it snows in Magic Kingdom. I wanted that, like, looking down the road view with the castle in the background and the reeds lit up. Did not disappoint. So there are these elves who come out and kind of like hype the crowd up at like 10:45, and you can hear the parade coming because it originates, I believe, in either Frontier or Adventureland, and then it makes its way through Magic Kingdom, and finally, like, it ends at the very end of Main Street. So we waited. It was like 11:20 before we saw the first float coming down. You guys, the floats have smells. They have smells that come out of these like little wangly things at the front and back of the specialty floats that smell like what's on the float. I thought I was going crazy because Kristoff came by us on a float that was foresty and it smelled like pine trees. And I was like, this can't, am I having a stroke? Why do I smell pine trees? And I thought my brain was tired and playing tricks on me. And then Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph came by on a gingerbread float and it smelled like gingerbread. And so I said to Mark, are you smelling this or am I crazy? No, they have smells. So it's full on Christmas sound, full on Christmas visuals, full on Christmas snow, and smells. And Santa is at the end. Best parade ever. Please do yourself a favor. This will turn any little Grinchy, Scroogey heart into one that loves Christmas. Into one that loves Christmas. Because you can't see this parade and be grouchy about it. Now, Callie would love this parade. But we would never be able to see the 11 o'clock. We would barely make it to the 8:30. So I think we have to wait for her to be a little bit older to go so that she can enjoy the like evening parts of this. Is that fair? I want her to be able to come, but selfishly I want to do all the Christmas things. So if she comes, it probably won't be until she's like 6 or so. Because none of this Christmassy excitement takes place during daytime hours. It's all during the evening party. So if you're bringing littles, put them in pajamas. That was the thing that we saw a lot of, like adults and kids in matching PJ sets. Also flippin' adorable. So cute. Put them in jammies, bundle them up, bring a stroller even for bigger kids, because likely if they've had a full park day, they'll need to sleep. So we were thinking, what we were talking about while we were waiting for the parade is that we would definitely do like a casual morning, a very laid back morning, and probably a nap or a rest period. And then we would go into the park, not at 2, because we don't need to be there from 2 to midnight with a child. But when she's older, it'll be like an adventure for all of us. So the parade is hands down my favorite thing. Then it would be Elsa. Then it would be Minnie's fireworks show. And then it would be Mickey and his friends on stage. So so let me tell you what happens in Tomorrowland. So we rode the TTA because we wanted to see like everything going on in the park. And tomorrow's Speedway, I've never been on that, nor do I think I'll ever ride it. I know people love it. It's just not something I'm waiting in line for. But they do add like Christmas music and ornaments and light up bulbs, so you can see that from the People Mover, which I thought was really fun. And then Mark all of a sudden was like, hey, we forgot about the edge effect. Guys, Christmas music and an a cappella group? Come on! That's my thing. So we trucked it over there, and there wasn't a ton of people, which was kind of nice. They sang 4 or 5 songs. I had never seen them perform before. They were great. I was just very happy listening to Christmas music from an a cappella group, wearing my Christmas ears. Like, I just felt very in the zone, in that spiritual, like, this is my Zen zone, movement. I was very happy. Mark said he got a video of me just smiling by myself while he went to the bathroom while I watched them. And I believe that because I was very happy there. So we also got to do in Tomorrowland, we had a late night cheeseburger at Cosmic Rays, which is also Club Tinsel. Also happens to be the name of our elf on the shelf, good old Tinsel. And Club Tinsel has like a human DJ and polar bears and elves that dance with kids. Club Tinsel was a little weird just because sometimes it was Christmas music and sometimes it wasn't. But it was really fun to have like pump up music at 10 p.m. while you're eating half a cheeseburger, waiting to go see some things that are incredible on Main Street. Would recommend. Let's see. So we also viewed the Christmas overlay of the Monsters, Inc. laugh floor, where like Roz has a Christmas sweater on and the jokes are Christmas themed. We did that very late at night and it was great. Again, cheesy Christmas jokes. Yes, Jingle Cruise. Yes, Monsters, Inc. laugh floor. So those would be 2 that we would definitely recommend as well. So Mark's favorite Christmas overlay that we did also was in Tomorrowland. Mine was definitely the Jingle Cruise. His was Space Mountain. We have not been on Space Mountain in a really long time, and the line was long. This was one of the very first things we did once the party started. I think we got in line at like 6:55, and we did wait for almost an hour because fast passes were still taking place when we got in line. But it'd been a really long time since we've been on Space Mountain. So I was kind of like, I like Space Mountain. It's really fun. All it is music and lights. How is this going to be exciting? Eat those words. It was so awesome. The Christmas music was so loud, like overwhelmingly your senses taking over your face loud. And the lights made it so that you could see the tracks. Mark and I have actually had to evacuate Space Mountain before, which was so cool because they turn the lights on and you're like, oh, a wooden roller coaster? Why is this safe? Am I actually going to hit my head? Still really cool to see. So seeing like the strobe lights in red, green, and white with the intensity of the Christmas music, I laughed the whole time. And I didn't feel sick when I got off, which normally I do. And it was just so much Christmas intensity. It was Mark's favorite. That is not one I'd recommend with a child. I mean, Callie loves a roller coaster, aka a slinky dog, and can roll with the best of them, but that's a little too intense. That's ages, 8 and up. So we're not really ready to traverse Space Mountain Christmas overlay or not yet, but I'm really glad that Mark and I had the opportunity to do it. If you have the chance to do it, maybe try a single rider, but it is worth the wait if you're going to wait in line as adults or if you have older children. There is a Christmas overlay that we did not do, and that was the holiday twist on the Mad Tea Party, simply because it makes both of us nauseous, but we did walk by it several times, and it was really cute to see the lights and hear the Christmas music. That was really nice. So if you have children and you can tolerate this motion, I would recommend that as well. I really wish Disney would Christmas overlay more in the parks, and I know that that's like a big ask. It's probably expensive. It's definitely time consuming, but the ones that we did, the Jingle Cruise, Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, Space Mountain, were amazing. They were so great. And it gives you this extra incentive to want to go on these rides that you may not want to or haven't done in a while, or you think feel repetitive. It really gives them that extra like twist for the holidays to make them worth waiting in line for. The last thing I want to talk to you about are the treats. So with your ticket of admission, you get 11 different treat stops that either have like hot cocoa, apple cider. Weirdly, some of them have like orange Fanta. And eggnog. There was eggnog at one as well, with different types of cookies, or we had a snowman pretzel at one that come in these individual bags. Okay, so tip number 1 is bring a bag, because even the hungriest human is not going to be able to eat 11 treats in this amount of time. You'll be sick. So we brought a trusty Ziploc bag, and we brought Mark's backpack, and so he put the cookies and treats in his backpack, and we were like splitting them throughout the evening, and then we brought this to come home. So you can see in here that like most of the cookies came in this packaging, which is a lot of plastic, but it smells good. It means that you don't have to eat this right away because it'll stay preserved. We also got these frozen graham snacks. Why aren't we giving these to Callie? No one knows. These little bags of treats came with a lot of the cookie treat stops, more graham crackers, and then oddly, sometimes we got these little baby Rice Krispie treats with our cookies. I think we've only eaten 2, and some just come in regular plastic wrapping. The peppermint cookie was definitely my favorite. I've actually started putting some in our adorable little Santa cookie jar in here. A lot of them are chocolate chip. And then when you enter the parks, I think we destroyed this one a little bit. When you enter the park, the first cookie you get is this sugar cookie with pink icing, and it has, now bear with us here, she's made it back from Orlando, this little Minnie Mouse face on it. Mark did not like this one. I thought it was delicious. It's at the bottom of our cookie jar. But there are 11 different stops in all of, I'll stop the crinkling before I talk to you. Santa's intact. In all of the lands of Magic Kingdom. So you look for these big red and white striped blow up candy canes to indicate that it's a treat stop. What I really liked about this, beyond the fact that we got to take home 300 cookies, is that we popped into places that are usually like quick service that we never, ever go into. So there were several places, especially in Frontierland, where we walked in and I was like, oh, it's beautiful in here. Like, why don't we ever come here? I don't even know what this is. So it's really nice to be able to explore new places while you're waiting in line, grabbing your treats. They were really generous with treats too. They were like trying to give you more than one at a time. I think that that's a huge bonus. So for the price of the ticket, you're getting, I'm going to use exclusive. It's not exclusive. It's limited, okay? So you're having a limited crowd for a specialized event with 4 different production value shows at the castle, new ride overlays, and treats. Definitely worth the cost of the ticket, which is around $100. I'll actually have Mark put up on the screen here how much the cost of one adult ticket is. Because yes, it is separate from admission to the park, so it's definitely an additional cost. But for what you're getting while you're there, I would definitely recommend this. This is one of my favorite things that we have ever done. And I don't mean for Christmas only or just in Disney. I mean in general. This was one of the best weekends I've ever had. I just felt so welcomed into the holiday season. And that's another tip, is I would recommend, if you have the chance and you want to do this, that you go earlier than the traditional Christmas season, because it might be less crowded. So that is our review of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. 10 out of 10, 100%, A+, would recommend doing this if you have the opportunity. It was just such a memorable, incredible weekend, and I hope this footage has been helpful for you. We tried really hard while we were there to grab footage that we think would be helpful, or some things that we would want to see as viewers from home, kind of tuning in to figure out if this was a trip we wanted to plan in the future. So thank you so much for hanging in here with me. I know this is a long one, but we just had so much to say and show you from this incredible experience. I hope you're having a magical, merry holiday season, and we will see you soon in our next video for Dismas. Thank you so much. Bye, you guys.